Well, good morning. Good morning. It is Monday morning. And if you're here with me, you're joining me on this live shipping where I ship all of my weekend orders, show you exactly what's sold, and give you a little bit of commentary and analysis along the way. So thanks for joining me, whether live or on the replay. I appreciate that. And guess what sold this weekend? I'm not going to share it right now. You'll have to stay tuned. But if you've been watching any of my recent videos, I've got an item that I've been talking about recently, and this weekend it sold. I'm going to get into that in just a second, a little later in the live here. So you'll see that item. It was actually my favorite item that I sold this weekend, and I'll show you that in just a second. By the way, I hope you had a great start. Hope you had a great weekend. Getting my words mixed up there. Hope you had a great weekend. That's going to lead to our question of the day. Let's go ahead and throw it up there. We'll keep it simple this morning. Share something that from this weekend that you want to talk about. So if you had a great weekend and you can interpret this professionally, if you found something awesome at the thrift, if you thrifted, if you sold something really awesome, feel free to share that. We love seeing what other viewers are picking up, selling, what have you. And also, if you want to answer this personally, you want to share what you did this weekend, you did something exciting, or you had something that's worthy of mentioning here, please put it in the comments, and we'd love to hear it. So I'll be sharing mine in just a second. So we'll give some people some time to come in here and say hello. Yeah, so I've got, let's see, 2 platforms sold this weekend. The weekend was decent. eBay and Poshmark, you probably would have guessed if you've been following me at all lately. No Mercari, no Depop. I did have some buyers I accepted offers from on Depop, and they never came through. So same story, different day. So yeah, it's just eBay and Poshmark today. I've got 21 orders I'm shipping out from this past weekend. And yeah, from as little as $16 is my lowest sale, all the way up to $90 on the biggest sale. I'm going to be going over all of those. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to put it in the chat. Love answering reseller questions, and if I can give you my honest feedback and answer it honestly, I'll definitely do that. If you're new to me, my name is Jason. I'm a full-time reseller. I go live like this every Monday morning, so you can put it on your calendar if you want to come back and join me on a future shipping live where I show you exactly what I sold over the weekend. I go live, I resell, and I work on my spreadsheet that I offer to other resellers. So I've got a spreadsheet that resellers use, and this is the season for me when I'm starting to work on next year's 2026 reseller spreadsheet. So I'm putting a lot of time into that now. So if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments. You can also find it in the description of this video, especially if you're watching on the replay. So with that said, we've got 18 eBay orders. We've got 4 Poshmark. 17 eBay, 4 Poshmark. There it is. That adds to 21. So we'll get shipping here pretty soon. Yeah, you want to share about the weekend, you want to say hello, go ahead and put it in the chat. And speaking of, Nick Smith coming in strong. 76 and 94 today. Love that. We are at I don't know what the low was. I'd guess in the 60s, but 79 is the high today, and we've got like an overcast week with potentially rain for the next 3 or 4 days. So it's definitely cooling off here, and I'm loving it. All right, so let's just go ahead and get into it. Actually, I said 4. I've got 5. I got another Poshmark order before I went live here, so I've got 5 Poshmark to ship out, and we're going to start off coming straight out of my closet. I wore this for a while, and that's the great thing about being a reseller. You can pick stuff up for pretty cheap. You can wear it for a while, and then you can sell it. So I sold this Toad & Co. There's the tag. Glare's kind of thrown it off, but Toad & Co. flannel shirt. So this was right out of my closet, 18 bucks, and it is gone on Poshmark. I actually sold a couple of items this weekend out of my closet. Wore it for a couple of years, and then I decided, you know what, I'm tired of it. Let's rotate some new stuff in. And I typically don't have a lot in my closet, but if I buy new stuff, I pull some stuff out to get rid of. Keep the cash coming in as the items are going in and out. So the Toad & Co. first Poshmark sale of the weekend, $18. That's about pretty standard for a flannel around this time of year. Most of my shirts are selling for that 18, upper teens to low 20s on a lot of my shirts. Toad & Co. is not really a brand that a lot of people are familiar with. It's kind of a unique brand. And honestly, I typically don't pick it up just because it's so obscure. I bought that mainly because at the time I had better luck with Toad & Co. when I picked that up. So I'm not really picking that up anymore, but glad it is out. Nick coming in with weekend highlights, garage sale clear out. Nice. That's awesome. Sold $250 and took the rest to thrift. I love hearing that. 'Tis the season for garage sales. Whoa. Our community usually does a garage sale spring and fall. I haven't looked to see, man, I've been out of the loop on the Facebook group, so I haven't looked to see if and when we're going to do our community yard sale. But I'm in a golf community, so I typically am looking for golf stuff when I go around, and I usually will find golf clubs or bags or things like that. So I always get excited for our garage sales here. I'm hoping that one's going to be coming up soon. We're going to be out of town the first week of October, so hopefully it's not then. Let's go to the next item on Poshmark. Daniel Cremo. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it. Cremo. Hopefully you all know what I'm talking about. The only reason why I picked this up, it's new with tags. I don't pick up this brand used. I've picked up several items, pants and shirts from this brand if they're new with tags. And I have some luck with them. It's I believe it's either a JCPenney's or a Dillard's, like department store brand. I'll sell their pants in the 30s. This shirt, I took an offer for $25. Brand new shirt. It's kind of like an Oxford with like a tartan plaid. And yeah, I only paid $6 for it. So didn't take that long to sell as well. So this is a brand, again, where I only pick up if it's new with tags. If it is used, I don't even entertain it. Huskies win, Seahawks win, Mariners sweep. Wow, good weekend in the Northwest for sports. Love hearing that, Nick. Man, it was, you can see my Razorback light up there. I almost am ashamed to have that lit up this morning because we played Memphis, so it was like a borderline game. We were supposed to win that game, and we lost on one of the last plays of the game. We were up by 18 at some point, which this is just the story if you're a Razorback fan. We were up by 18. They came back and basically went on a run, came back. They went up by 1 point. No, they went up by, they were up by 1 point. And we got the ball with like 3 minutes to play. We were driving down the field. We had just run the ball to the 4-yard line to get a first down. And as he was going down, he fumbled. All we had to do was kick the field goal as time was expiring. They were trying to run out the clock. So they were just running the ball, and he fumbles as he's going down. I mean, it's second week in a row where we're driving to win the game at the very end of the game, and we fumble. So we are 2-2, really close to being 4-0. And I think this is probably, our coach is on the hot seat, and he's got a major buyout. I'm going way into the weeds on this, but I think he'll be gone by the end of the year. All right, sold this morning. Love this brand. I'm a broken record on this brand. I say it all the time. Cool. This was, which I don't find very often, was a linen blend. Typically I find like their cotton or their polyester shirts, more their polyester or their nylon. This was a linen blend, and it doesn't even look like it had been worn. I mean, the tag just looks brand new. Picked up 2 of these on this day. This was the last one to sell. Same size, just different colors. And I got a best offer, took a best offer of 28 on Poshmark this morning. So still, and that's a short sleeve. Still have some short sleeves going out. Obviously you'll find, I mean, it's still warm here. This is going to Monument, Colorado. Still find parts of the country that are pretty warm now. Throw up the question of the day. If you're just popping in, what's something you want to share about from this weekend? This can be professionally. You got a sale, a big sale you want to talk about. You went thrifting and you found something you want to share with us. Feel free to put it in the chat. You can also answer this personally. If you did something worth noting, you went out and did something that was exciting for you, that made it a great weekend, share that with us. We'd love to hear that. All right, that's 3 of the 5 Poshmark. Another offer I accepted this morning going out. This is I picked up probably 40 of these hats last October for $6 to $8 a piece. This one sold for $17. Tommy Bahama margarita hat. It's even got it's got a margarita recipe right underneath the bill. So that's pretty cool. This like trucker style hat. I got a bunch of different styles, different colors on these trucker hats, and different some other different hats as well. So pretty cool. It's got the margarita recipe right there. You can you don't even have to use your phone. If you're looking for a recipe, just take your hat off, pull it up, and it's right there. All right, so with hats, I always put it in a poly mailer. This is I believe it's 11 by 9, maybe a 12 by 10. This is 12.5 by 10. I've got everything linked in my store if you're interested. So it goes in the poly mailer, and then it goes in a 9 by 8 by 4 box. I've got right here. These actually just came in fresh off the truck. 9 by 8 by 4. And this obviously keeps it waterproof, and then the box keeps it from getting bent. That's how I ship hats. And if you're someone who sells hats at all, you thrift hats to resell. I'll wait until I finish that because that's loud. If you sell hats, this is a great way to ship it. You want to make sure, if you want the cheapest rate on shipping, that your package, so the box and the poly mailer, are coming in at 8 ounces or less. That's the cheapest rate on a hat. If you tip over into the 9 ounce range, you're going to pay, I don't know, 50, 75 cents, $1 more, somewhere in that range, for just an ounce extra. So you want to make sure that you're getting boxes that are somewhat lightweight. These 9 by 8 by 4s with the hat almost always come up to 8 ounces to ship. Of course, on Poshmark, it doesn't matter. Poshmark, it's just the same rate. But for sites like eBay, you want to make sure you're getting in the 8 ounces or less. So check my links. You can find it in the description of this video if you're looking for these specific boxes that I use here. So not a lot of margin on these hats, but like I said, I picked up around 40 of these a while ago, and I've just been selling them. From low end is 17, what I sold this one for. The high end is around 22. $6 to $8 a piece on them. That's me about $6 to $10, $7 to $10 on these hats each. But a lot of those listings are quantity 7, quantity 8, so very easy to get up. All right, and my last Poshmark sale from this weekend is the one that I teased out this morning. I was excited to share it with you. You may have seen the title. Guess what I sold this weekend? This guy right here. I'll kind of catch you up to speed in case you didn't see a recent video that I posted. But before I do that, Zach, I'll answer your question before I move on to this. What type of poly bags do I use? I've got them linked there as well. So if you check the description on YouTube, you'll find it there. I honestly don't know. It says poly cells, but you'll find the exact ones. These are the 12.5 by 9. These fit. If you do the 12.5 by 9, you get most shirts and some pants in here. And then the second one up would be, I believe it's the 12.5 by 15.5. 12 by 15 and a half. Again, both linked in the description. And this is more for like larger pants, some jackets, and larger layers for the second set. Those are the only two poly mailers. Actually, I said only two. Got one other set over here that's like more for blazers and things like that. That's even larger. But these are the two that I use probably 98% of the time. All right, this sold this weekend. There's the tag, Jelly Cat. That's a tag you want to find. If you're ever looking in the kids section and like the plushes, the dolls, you want to find a Jelly Cat tag. And if that tag isn't hanging, you'll be able to see the Jelly Cat like care instructions tag down below. The great thing about this, if you have the Jelly Cat tag like I do, you can look underneath and find what it is. This one says, I am medium bashful piggy. So it makes it really easy to look it up right there. This sold best offer for $60. I paid $3.99 for a like grab bag of plush dolls. There were 3 or 4 dolls in there. This was one of them that I saw that I grabbed it for. When I saw the Jelly Cat, I was like, I'm paying for the bag, and then we'll see what else is in there. There wasn't really anything else worth noting. But this was a good one. I finally got the best offer and sold it, I believe, within 11 days of listing. Yeah, 11 days. I had it for $75, $60 offer came in. I just took it. So $4 into $60. There was, when I picked this up, I was obviously stoked about the Jelly Cat. I did a video on whether this was real or not. I did a lot of research on these, and I still don't know. It looks real to me. The tags all check out. Nothing as far as the quality looks fake, but there was one of the pigs they make like this looked slightly different, and I looked it up on Amazon. I did a lot of research, and then I ended up finding this one. So it's going out on Poshmark for $60 bucks. Excuse me. And I'm not going to ship this in a poly mailer for obvious reasons. It's more expensive. I don't want the tags to get bent or anything, so I'm going to wrap it in some bubble wrap. We're going to get this moving. Jelly Cats are just a brand of plush that if you find, especially if you get some rare ones, you can sell for more than that. Sorry, Zach, I left your question up there. And I'm going to put this in a box if it'll fit in here. We've got the classic diaper box. No, it's not going to fit. I don't want to smash it. Let's see what I got down here. All right, we're going to just cut this down. Actually, this sold on Poshmark, so it doesn't matter. I don't have to get it down. It's going to be the same price shipping anyways. So I've got it wrapped. We'll throw in a little bit of a filler in there, and we'll send it on its way. Yeah, if you're new to Poshmark, you've got 5 pounds. So 5 pounds is one rate. So as long as it's not more than 5 pounds, you're good to go. If it is more than 5 pounds, you've got to pay extra to ship it. Poshmark just changing up their shipping label price and their method from priority mail to ground advantage. So they're moving to a cheaper shipping option, giving the customer a little bit of a deal. I don't know how much exactly their labels are. I want to say it was $6.45 now. It used to be $8 and change. But the trade-off as you may have guessed. It's not going priority mail anymore. So the trade-off is it's going to take longer to get there, and for sellers, longer to get paid because it's based on the buyer rating your order. Did I? Okay, yeah, there it is. Just making sure I shipped out that hat. I'm okay with that though. I'm okay with waiting a little longer to give the buyer a discount and hopefully getting some more business on Poshmark. Those of you watching, what platforms do you sell on? Nick, I know obviously you're on Depop as well as others. What platforms are you on? Where are most of your sales coming in from? All right, that does it for Poshmark. We're out on Poshmark. 5 sales going out the door. That leaves us now to turn to eBay. I can't show you on the bag because they're folded in, but this sale came in on Friday, a pair of Athleta Delancey straight cargo pant leggings. And with Athleta, a lot of times on the inside, on the waistband, it'll say Athleta, and then right under that we'll have the model or the style that you can just quickly look up. And I did that, and with a quick look up, I could see these were going for mid-20s to the mid-30s. So I priced these around the mid-30s, took an offer of 28 on eBay to get these out. You got to be careful with Athleta, especially some of their older styles. They can sit. So that's why I suggest strongly that you look up the model and make sure you have a model that is worth picking up. Because if you pick up a less desirable, you're going to be looking at 15 to 20 bucks. And for me, I don't know if that's worth it. I'm pretty careful with women's specifically. I'm very selective on what I pick up. All right, going to Massachusetts. Okay, I gotcha. What's your wheelhouse? What are you selling? Do you sell kind of a bunch of everything, or are you in a specific niche? I do have some sales on Amazon, but not a lot. And it's actually kind of dipped because it's just hard to find stuff to sell there, honestly. You got to be really into the retail world to find stuff to flip on Amazon, since you can't sell used clothing there. All right, next up. This was a thrifted find for $2.99. You know that logo, Patagonia. That's one of my favorites. Honestly, this hat looked like it's brand new. I mean, there's just not a lot of wear. The tag there looks like it doesn't, hard to see that this has been worn at all. The only thing has like a slight little, I don't know if you can tell, a little mark down here, which isn't really going to matter because it's on the top of the hat, so no one's really going to see it unless this person is like 4'9". They're not going to see it. So got this Patagonia hat. You go to the Patagonia store, you go online, you pick up this hat. It's going to be 35 to 40 bucks. So an offer came in for 20 on something I paid $2.99 for on a classic style Patagonia fishing trucker hat. It says, "We stand for the water we stand in." So Patagonia does a lot of like environmental things that make it a great company. They're using a lot of recycled products. They're giving back to the community. It's just a really good brand. And of course, if you're not familiar with Patagonia, obviously not paying me to say all this, but you buy something from them, it's good for life. So if you have any issues, you send it in. Patagonia is going to either fix it for you, rips, tears, wear, or they're going to give you store credit for a brand new item, which is pretty remarkable to have a lifetime guarantee. But I can speak firsthand. I had a puffer jacket that I got brand new. Within 6 months or so, or even less, I got a little tiny, like, I wouldn't say rip. It was just, you could see a little bit of the filling coming out. Sent it in, they patched it up and sent it back, and I couldn't even tell where it was. Like, they did such a great job. All right. So again, 8 ounces or less, $4.80 on this shipping label. Had it been 9 ounces, we would be looking at like $5.50. So every little bit counts when you're shipping hats, or whether you're not shipping hats. Every little bit counts. 70 cents may not seem like a lot now, but especially if you're selling more, you're selling a lot of items and you add that up, it can add up over time. Okay. My biggest sale from the weekend, brand new FootJoy golf jacket, more of like a puffer quilted jacket. You can kind of see it there, the quilted, the puffer. I had a few of these, $89.99 all in on this, and it retails for $175, which is kind of, if you're not familiar with selling new items on eBay, for most items, I'm noticing that's what it's going for. You're going to get 50 to 60% of retail. Of course, there are always exceptions to that, but it's hard to get close to retail on items unless people are just sold out online and you're one of the only people that have that specific model. It's hard to get more than 60, 70%. Gotcha, Zach. Zach says, sell whatever. Right now, no niche. Stay out of clothes. So you're probably looking at what, electronics and gadgets and things like that. Okay, I see. Yeah, clothing returns, not fun. Household items, food, automotive, beauty, depending on brand. Okay, cool. Thanks for sharing that. I've got maybe 6 or 7 items on Amazon right now, all clothing. But some of those items are just slower items, so I'm not expecting anything there. It's been probably 3 weeks since I've made a sale on Amazon. All right, $89.99 plus $8.95 shipping. That's my standard 2-pound rate. You take out fees and everything that I just paid out from the sale. That leaves me with just under $30 profit. So I picked up 3 of those jackets for $49 a piece at TJ Maxx, all in the same day, and 2 of them were the same size and color. So spend $49 to make $30 isn't the greatest, but I'm okay with that. I sold one other one at like $109, so my profit was a lot higher. So when you average out the profit on those, about $40 to $50 average profit for those jackets. All right, moving on to this next item. Picked this up at a yard sale with a bunch of blazers. This men's blazer. I'm very particular on blazers, but this is a brand that's actually really good, and I haven't thrifted but maybe 3 times. Paul Smith. This is an older style jacket, like 100% wool. And just the day that I got this at a yard sale, they were doing, it was amazing. They weren't doing eBay prices. It was like every clothing item was $2 or $3. Their blazers were like $3. So I picked up several blazers, Hugo Boss, Paul Smith. Actually got a vintage Star Wars shirt. I just picked up quite a bit of stuff and have done well with the items that I found there. Didn't realize this until I got home, but this blazer actually had a couple holes on the cuff. You can see them right there. And it's kind of on the top. These holes would be kind of sitting up so people would see them and view. So I priced it, and still, even with those 2 holes, got $26.99 on this blazer. So I'm happy with that. I priced it to sell it. Had it not had those holes, I would have probably gotten twice that. And again, I paid like $2 or $3 for it. So would I pay $2.50, $3 to flip an item for 26 and change? All the time. That would be a great flip. You told me right now that I could go into a thrift store and buy shirts and stuff for an average of $2 to $3 that I knew I'd get in the mid to upper 20s on. I'd be very happy with that. Reality for me now is I'm paying on the low end $5, unless it's half price. On the high end, $7, $8 to sell for even less than that. So yeah, I'm happy with the sale, and most importantly, it gets an item out of my closet that's heavier, it's taking up more space, and flawed. So you see me putting in the clear poly mailer on this blazer, and then I'm putting it in another poly mailer for protection. I don't store my blazers in clear bags. As just mentioned, they go in the closet here. All right. My prices were $1, $2, and $5. Nick, $1, $2, and $5 at thrift stores? Is that what you're saying? All right, 2 pounds on the nose. Thankfully, it did not go over 2 pounds and 1 ounce, or I'd be paying a little more. So $7.57. Actually, it doesn't change at all. That's interesting. Doesn't change from 2 to 3. $7.57 on the label on this. Going to LA, Los Angeles, California. Yeah, I've noticed most of my stores here, and I'm kind of speaking about Goodwill in general. I have some other thrift stores that just all over the map, but most of my Goodwills here are, I would say, they used to all be like $4.99 for a shirt. They've gone up, but I have noticed that I've noticed that one store, maybe 1 or 2 stores, have kind of come back down, and they're pricing shirts. I'm even, as recently as this past week, getting shirts for $4.49. So I'm glad to see that they're kind of reevaluating and saying, like, maybe it's not worth it to price so high. They used to have two colors each week on sale. They did away with that a couple years ago. So now it's just one at 50% off. But every Sunday, that one becomes $1. I just don't thrift on Sunday. Oh, gotcha, Nick. I see. Yeah, so Nick just had a yard sale this past weekend. $1 for shirts, $2 button-ups, and $5 jeans. I love it. Yeah, when you roll up to a yard sale and that's the pricing, I mean, that's a good yard sale. Nick was pricing it to move. And when I've been to yard sales like that, I will entertain a lot of stuff because you're getting it so cheap. I mean, it's hard to lose money on prices like that. It's when you roll up and they're like $10 for a shirt. It's like, come on, it's a yard sale. This isn't eBay. Price it to move it. Yeah, NRC for Christ, you're welcome. Of course, if you all have any specific questions, you can always ask along the way. Don't be bashful. Throw it up and I'll answer it as best I can with the knowledge that I have. Be completely honest with you. Next up, this is my smallest sale from the weekend. Kind of see a little collab there. I've never seen this before. Gap plus Pendleton. This is a women's flannel. I honestly thought with the Pendleton collab on there, I'd get more than $16.45. But there were several of these shirts, exact same size, exact same color listed. So I priced it to move it. I think I priced it at $19.99, and then Nifty came in and sent a 10%. Actually, I was running a 10% off sale, and then Nifty came in and sent a 10% sale off of that, or 10% discount off of that. So the buyer got it 20% off and got it right away. New Jersey, Mary Jo, thank you so much. Going up to the Northeast. Come on, eBay. Just got the technical issues error from eBay. What's going on here? Okay. I don't know if maybe my... Okay, let's try this again. Excuse me. So it's accepted the payment on the label, but it's no longer, I have to go back and get it. All right, there it is. So not a huge margin on this. And again, I don't really look in the women's section. So if I'm showing you women's stuff, it's either an old item that I thrifted a while ago. That one actually happened to be a new one. It's more so if I happen to be in the men's section and someone has placed a women's item and it's a good one worth looking at, I'll take a look. But usually I'll just quickly go down the women's aisles. I'm just like looking for a few like home run pieces, and that's about it. All right, another fast flip. Life is Good. Life is Good does fairly decent for me. This is like a heavy sweatshirt. It's got a take it outside graphic, and it was a men's 2XL. And honestly, again, looked like it hasn't even been worn. So I think I sold this within a month. 9 days from listing it, and I got $26.99. So full price on this. Their t-shirts used to do better than they do now. I used to list them all day in the mid-20s and take offers in the low 20s. Depending on the style and the graphic, you can still get in the upper teens on a t-shirt. Life is Good t-shirt. See if we're going to have some issues with eBay. This one's going really close to Indiana. Is Life is Good something that you all would pick up? I definitely am. The shirt has to be like, can't be ratty, obviously. That's a kind of a common sense statement, but it's got to be a larger size. And I say that, but larger size meaning large or bigger. I don't pick up smalls and mediums. If it's new with tags, I'll obviously entertain it. But other than that, it has to be no flaws, larger size, good graphic. And I typically am picking up men's. I'm not doing a lot of women's for reasons I stated earlier. All right, another Untuck It going out for $31.47 from the weekend. It's just a great pattern too. I don't know what you call that, honestly, that pattern. If you all know, let me know in the comments. But what kind of pattern is this on a dress shirt? It's got like thicker plaid check. It's got like thinner plaid. I don't know what you call that. It's not Glen plaid, is it? Let's just take a look. Is it Glen plaid? Could be. Maybe it is. Yeah, it appears it's Glen plaid, which I didn't put that in the title. But maybe you all can confirm. Quince or Quincy and J. Jill have been popping up, meaning you've been finding them to thrift or they've been selling for you. Nick says, no on Life is Good. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of teetering on the t-shirts, like teeter around 60% on whether I want to pick it up. So it's definitely come down. Woodstock, Connecticut. Your Untuck It shirt is coming your way. All right, another dress shirt. This one's a really cool Polo Ralph Lauren. You can see the brand new tags down there. It's got like the blue striped shirt with the white collar. I don't know what you call that, but this is the Polo Ralph Lauren Dobby shirt. And there's kind of the tag. It's a different polo tag. Really hard for you to see in there. Very different style than they typically do with their classic polo shirt. I picked up like 3 of these. This is the last one to go for $52.65. Again, Nifty sent a 10% offer. Buyer accepted. It's out. I had a bunch of people offering on this too. Bunch of offers, and of course, with Polo Ralph Lauren, a lot of people out there that want to pay $40, and I'm like, nope, not paying 40 for a brand new shirt that retails for $168. So with Polo, if it's not your standard like solid color polo, if it's like a nicer shirt like this, I'm definitely waiting until that buyer comes along. 52 is a good deal. I typically am trying to get in the 60s on something like that, but I've had this one since January of 2025. I paid $29 for it. It's gone. So it doesn't give me much. I mean, profit on that isn't great. You heard me say I had 2 or 3 of those that I've already sold. This is the last one. It gave me $17 profit. The 1 or 2 others that I had sold for that $60, $65 range. So I definitely made more on those. Sold J. Jill. Yeah, I from limited time that I'm in the women's section, I do see J. Jill. I just never pick it out. I haven't heard of Quince or Quincy. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Good for you. I mean, if you got something working for you, go for it, right? Another item coming out of my closet, Eddie Bauer Travix. There's the Eddie Bauer logo right there, and that yellow decal with like the diamond shape is their Travix. More of their like travel line. This came out of my closet and got $17.97 on it. Eddie Bauer, not really a great brand for me anymore. Used to be better. I've stopped picking it up. Probably 90% of the items I see from them, I just don't pick up. All right. Here's a new one going to Marfa, Texas. M-A-R-F-A. Never heard of that. Put a hand up if you've ever heard of that. I don't even know where that is. One of my, besides the Jellycat, one of my more exciting items that I sold this weekend, this was a fast flip. It took 2 days, and I got a best offer of $76, and it sold. And this is a used thrifted item. Big John, good morning. How are you? Shoe sales. I had 1 pair of shoes that I haven't shipped yet. So I've got 1 pair going out from this weekend. Last week was actually a better week. I think I had, there was 1 day in particular that I sold 5 pairs of shoes. So, and a couple of those were new. So, I mean, that day was popping. But what about for you? How are your shoe sales? I paid $25 for this. I paid up. It was a men's small. So high price, not a great size. I thought about it, but when I looked up comps, I actually ended up getting more than I thought I would get. When I picked this up, I thought if I can get in the 60s, that would be great. That would justify a $25 pickup. I took a best offer of $76 in 2 days. So I probably could have countered and gotten closer to, I had it at $89.99 listed. I could have countered at like 82 and maybe they would have taken it, but 76, let's just get it gone. That's a good price. The brand is Pendleton. You saw one earlier. There's Pendleton, and right down here is the model. The original board shirt. It's a 100% virgin wool flannel. Great pattern here too. It's like a blue green, and it's even got like a tan mixed in there as well. $76. I'll show you how much I made here in just a second. It's going up to Vermont. I'm pretty sure I was one of the lowest on that. When I priced it, I thought, you know what? This is a men's small. Let's price it to move it. Happy with this sale for sure. So we'll take a look at profit on 25 bucks spent. And I'm interested to know from your perspective, would you pay 25 to sell a shirt for 76? Is that something you'd pay up for? If you're in the thrift store before you've sold it, I mean, obviously hindsight is 20/20, but if you haven't sold it and you're looking at that same item, Pendleton board shirt, it's a men's size small, and you're in the thrift store, are you going to pick it up to sell it? You're going to spend that kind of money. No right or wrong answer here. It's just your business, your model. So I take out fees, 67 minus 25. That leaves me with $42.19. So 42 bucks back on 25 spent within 2 days of listing it. Big John sold 3 over the weekend, all Nike models, all like tennis shoes, running shoes. Yeah, I agree with you, Nick, on that. It's great ROI. What is that, like 150%? Close to 150 and really fast, which is ideal. That's what I was hoping for. I did not want that to sit around. When I've got 25 bucks into it, I never spend that at the thrift. Okay, buyer in this next item came and bought 2 of these. I had 2 in the same size, same style. They bought them out. These St. John's Bay sleep pant. Not a lot of margin on these. I think I got them for $4 to $5 a piece. And then I sold them for 50. That can't be right. What did I get for these? $17.97 a piece. So you're looking at roughly like $7 profit on each of these. Going to Ohio. I think I bought maybe 12 pairs of these St. John's Bay sleep pants, knowing they weren't going to be a high margin, but they were all like size 4XL and 5XL. For some reason, it charged the buyer twice on shipping. And I have a note in all of my eBay descriptions, every item that says, if you buy multiples, I'll combine shipping. So the buyer never reached out. They never asked for a discount, which has happened quite a bit. I just don't get why people don't ask for a discount on shipping. But I went ahead and refunded him $4 back on his shipping. So as a thank you for purchasing multiple items, went ahead and just gave him $4 back. Let's see here. 2 pounds, $6.29. Let's go. So if I'm looking at fees taken out and everything, then those sold promoted. So I had a little bit more fees on those. $30, 30 and change minus 10 bucks. So $20 and change profit, 10 bucks a piece. I'll take that. NRC says, yep, I'd buy for that profit. Yep. Jordan models, that's nice. I don't pick up Jordans much because they're just so many people are faking those. But I did pick up a pair, actually, at one of my last thrift runs. And honestly, I didn't look these up. I looked them up in the store to see comps, but they seem to be a shoe. But the bottom sole looks like more of that spikeless golf shoe. I just don't. It's not a golf shoe, but it looks like it. And $6 on this. into about 60. So that was my recent Jordan pickup. But like I said, I don't pick up Jordans very often because it's just so hard to tell if they're real. I'm not an expert shoe seller on Jordans, especially. All right, next up, I just mentioned the St. John's Bay. This is another item that I picked up at the JCPenney sale for $5. This camel heather tan cotton blend sweater. Izod V-neck went for $25.18. So 5 into $25.18. That sale has been doing really well for me. Every weekend I've had an item or two that I picked up there. Now that fall is within reach. I don't really even know. Are we in fall yet? When is officially fall? Let's just look it up. Oh, that's today. What are the chances? Today is the first day of fall, September 22nd. Just looked it up. There you have it. Breaking news. Go buy your pumpkin spice latte today in honor of fall. Today, first day of fall. There it is. You heard it here first. This is a good segue into my shoe sales. And if you ask me about eBay's authentication guarantee, I don't understand it. I sold a pair of these last week, these brand new Hokas, for more than these. These were 69. I think I got 70, and they did not have to be authenticated. These have to be authenticated. Why? I don't know. I don't know why some do and some don't. People have said if they're under $75, they don't get authenticated. But then again, these are getting authenticated at $69. So I don't understand eBay's methodology there on what gets authenticated and what doesn't. Those are, fortunately, I haven't had any of those Hoka hiking boots come back fake, and I bought them all at the same store. I bought like 13 pairs. So I'm not worried about them getting authenticated. Sorry, let's get this off there. Just now seeing it. Not worried about them getting authenticated. It's more so just it spends longer time in transit. It gets to the authenticator, and then they have to take their time and look at it, and then they ship it to the buyer. So the buyer's just waiting longer to get them. So that's kind of annoying. Big John, maybe you know something about that. Hey, look at this. Just got a sale on eBay, full price. $34.97 on another Untuck It that I just shipped out. This exact same model. So I'm sharing the wins and losses here. These Hokas, I took a best offer of 69. I had them at 79. I paid $69.99 for each pair, and I thought I would get 100 plus on each pair. I think I sold the first pair at like 120, 130, but there have been a lot of people who have now gotten these, and the price has just gone down. So I've sold maybe half of the 13 pairs that I bought, so I've still got quite a few. I'm just trying to get rid of them and get my money back. So I obviously lost on these, but that's okay. You got to take chances. And that's a good lesson when it comes to retail arbitrage. You got to be careful, especially if I'm spending, I don't know how much it was, but 13 pairs times $70 a piece. You got to just watch the market. You got to know what's out there. What's your competition look like? And now that I've seen that they've come way down, and there are people even selling less than that for a brand new hiking boot, it's time to just get out of that market. We'll see you, Big John. Thanks so much for popping in. Hope you have a great day too. Yeah, I mean, I know you're probably headed out, John, but that is strange on not having to authenticate Nike, especially when you're selling them at 70 and below, especially Nike, which is probably one of the brands that more people are knocking off, and the Jordans especially. And another sale. Boom, let's go. $29.99 puffer on eBay. A Uniqlo puffer. All right, another fast flip. I had that Pendleton that sold in 2 days. This was listed on the same day and sold in 2 days as well. This Puma, you got to see the print on this. This is pretty rad. It's like a bumblebee is what it looks like, all over print. This Puma men's size 3XL. I got a couple of, there were actually probably 5 or 6 Pumas all in the 3XL size that were just different golf polos. I only picked up 2 of them because they were all over print. The other two or three or whatever were kind of more, how they just look more worn. So these were on the newer end, and I picked those up for the prints. The other one is like a cool, it's like sunglasses and suntan lotion, like all over print. So took a best offer of 20, which I can't complain, for $6 to sell it in 2 days for $20. That's great. I honestly thought I would get closer to the mid 20s on that. I thought maybe someone would come in and snag it full price. But to get some cash flow this weekend, I ran everything on sale. Even new inventory was 10% off. So that went from 25 to 22.50. Buyer offered like 18. We met at 20. All right. Flannels are in. First day of fall, flannels going out. They've been going out for a while, actually. This is a Duluth women's flannel. The great thing about Duluth, you can find the model number, and I can't see it based on how it's tucked in, but typically on the tag, it's got like I think it's a 5-digit number right on top. You Google that and it will tell you the model. It's crucial you get the model. So if I just said women's Duluth flannel, it may have sold, but there are a lot of people out there that don't take the time to look up the model. So it's really important that you get the model in, and you're going to have someone specifically looking for that model. I think you have a better shot of it pulling up in Google. Your search metrics are just going to be better. This was the Duluth crosscut wicking flannel. That was the specific model. Tunic shirt. And I just put in exactly what Duluth had and went with it. So this sold for $20.69. It's women's. Again, I'm not looking in the women's section, probably popped up in the men's. And it's going to Littleton, Colorado, which is a great place. Wouldn't mind having a home there in Littleton, Colorado. So Duluth, another brand that's really easy to check the model just based on that 5-digit number. And whether you're a new reseller or not, when you start to learn brands like this, you start to learn how their style numbers are all spelled out and where to find them. It gets to where they're really quick. Right there in the store, you can look it up pretty quickly because you're familiar with it. So the longer you do this, the more you kind of just know, like, okay, I know exactly what I'm looking for. There's the number. Let's check the sold comps. Do I pick it up or not? And I didn't do this on purpose, but right after that one sold, I got another Duluth flannel going out the door. This one new with tags, so that one was really easy to look up because it's right there on the tag. This was the Duluth free swinging flannel, men's size small. Picked this up for $8, sold for $24.30. Not as much as I thought I would get for a brand new Duluth flannel. And I probably could have tried to price it a little higher, but again, men's small. It's time to get it out. This is the season. And there are a lot of Duluth flannels out there. I especially do not want a men's small sitting around come spring. Got to go back, and I missed putting in some shipping charges into my spreadsheet. So let's take a look. $8 spent, took 32 days to sell. That's funny. Those Duluth flannels, the two that I just showed you, both listed on the same day, both sold on the same day, both took 32 days to sell. That Duluth that I just showed you, I ended up making $13.26 profit on $8 spent. So it's okay. With a new flannel, I would hope for more than that, but it's a men's size small. Have I driven that point home enough today? All right. So that was going to be it. And then I've just come up with a couple more sales. So let's grab, got one right here that I can just ship out real quick. And then I won't go to the garage to get this other one. I'll just show you what it looks like, and you can kind of get an idea. The brand is one that I don't pick up quite a bit, but I look for these particular items. I've got several of these, so I want to make sure I've got the right size. Okay, that one's good. Again, you just saw it, another untuck it. This one went out for higher than the last one, $34.97. I've got, you can't see them, I don't think, but I've got 6 boxes right here, 3 and 3. I've got 2 down here. I've got 3 in the closet, and I've got 4 or 5 more boxes in the garage. So I'm loving selling these, because that means eventually these boxes are going to disappear and give me some more space again. So already the 2 sales since I've gone live, I had 2 that came in on Poshmark before I went live. So this is my 3rd and 4th sale today. So I won't bore you with the details on this. I did want to show you the Uniqlo item that I just sold. So we'll go ahead and share the screen on this. Let's take a look at this item. So this is what I got $29.99 for, that just came in. Uniqlo is a decent brand, but this is the item that I'm looking for. I've sold these quilted puffers before in the past. Sold a few of these, and this one, even you can see in the title, it says "Read" up here, had a flaw on the back bottom of the shirt. Let's see if I can find it. There are my measurement pictures. Those are new. So right there in the very back on the bottom, you can see like a little tiny rip with a little bit of some of that filler coming out. So even with that, I still got $29.99. Had that not been there, I would be looking in the 40s for this puffer jacket. This style, I mean, obviously there are a lot of brands doing this style quilted puffer jacket, and especially if you can find some outdoor brands, you can get some pretty hefty penny for those types of items. So be on the lookout for those quilted down puffer jackets from a lot of brands. Patagonia, North Face, of course, but even like Eddie Bauer, some of these brands that maybe you wouldn't entertain the shirts, but their puffer jackets will do well. So anyways, I'm going to go grab that jacket out of the garage. I'm going to ship out this item, but I'm going to call it quits here because you already know the details now. So I want to thank you for coming in and watching, or if you've popped on after you're watching the replay on either YouTube or Facebook, thank you so much. If you have any questions, even if I'm not live, you can put it, comment in either of those videos, wherever you're watching from, whichever platform, and I'll answer it as best I can. So again, we'll be back next Monday, shipping lives, or shipping orders live. And then, yeah, in between, hope you have a great week. Hope sales continue to roll in for you, and you have a really good tail end of Q3 here as we're getting